Good morning. Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's Kathy here, and welcome to Tuesday morning stream. We're going to do Laura Troubridge today. And if you're new here, my name is Kathy. I'm an artist, and every morning I come on and we talk about excuse me. We talk about an artist, and then we do a piece that's a tribute to them after we draw together, and it's a lot of fun. We learn a lot. I do a kind of a cold read of Wikipedia. Sometimes I skim it just, for problematicness potentials. And that's what's going on. We have a little slideshow today of Laura Troubridge's work. Let's make sure that it's running pretty good. Okay, so she was an illustrator, and she also was a portraitist, and she was also a diarist. So she did, we'll learn all about what that is, and a letter writer. Okay, this is back in the 1800s. So this is like stuff that they did. This was like the stuff of the day. I'm going to grab my other phone so I can check the stream. Okay. Because usually I hope it's charged. Hold on. Hold on one second. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to get my other phone. I'm going to look on this phone. Give me one sec. I know I'm on my computer right now. I could just open up a new window, but I try and keep things a little bit, as least going on my computer as possible when I'm streaming, just because it's it's a lot. So I try to keep things manageable on my computer. Anyway, I know maybe you didn't even ask. Maybe you didn't even care, but I just thought I would explain that. So let's see. Anyway, all right. I know maybe you didn't even ask. Hey. I just heard myself, so we're good. So let's do this. Let's do Laura Troubridge. Oh, hold on. Coffee corner. Okay. This is my first sip of this coffee. Let me show you this beautiful thing. See? I just made my coffee. That's why I'm late. I have to have my coffee. I'm also a little bit late today because I didn't even have a sip yet. I'm also a little bit late today because I have this new slideshow on my computer, and I like it, and I hope you like it. I would like to hear what you think. But I didn't have enough of her work. She's hard to find a lot of artwork for out there. There's a lot of the same, and then there's some portraits. I'm not complaining. I like her work, it's beautiful, and some artists are hard to find work for because some artists just aren't, for whatever reason, there's not a lot of information about them. There's not pictures of them, portrait picture. You can't see what they look like. And then there's a lack of artwork on the web to find about them. So, for whatever reason, she is one of those. I think I found enough. I still don't know if it builds a complete picture or not, but that's okay. We'll get there and find out. But as for the coffee, this is what I'm drinking today. It's Ethiopia single origin from Whole Foods. And I got it. I needed more coffee. And it was on sale. And I like single origin Ethiopia and Guatemala, so I bought it. Because I thought I would try it, because why not? Save a few bucks. But I only will buy full priced coffee from my local coffee shop because I don't know where the money's going when I give it to Whole Foods. But if they're gonna have a coffee sale, I will partake if it's a coffee that I want to drink. But I will give my full price coffee dollars to my local who sells independent beans. So Square One Coffee, that's the one that they do. So, oh, shout out to 1369, my local coffee shop too. This is really good. Really good. I like it a lot. Actually on par, pretty much on par with the Ethiopia that I usually drink. The single origin one. Anyway, okay. Let's do this, shall we? Laura Troubridge. Oh, also before I start, I just want to let you know that Laura Troubridge, first of all, she goes by a bunch of different names. And we'll go over those names. But second of all, there's more than one Laura Troubridge out there. And from a similar time period. I mean, I haven't looked into them deeply, but I think they might have even been a relative, actually. So maybe we'll find that out in the read. And yeah, but that can throw that threw a monkey wrench at me. So in my gathering of materials here today. So anyway, let's do this. Laura Troubridge, diarist, from Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. I'm not going to be like Surrey and read every single piece of this page, like read, edit, view, history, and tools. I'm not going to do that. Okay, not to be confused with Laura Troubridge, Lady Troubridge. Right up here. I mean, that's kind of important. I know I just said it, but yeah, I'm just going to reiterate. Okay. Laura Elizabeth Rachel Troubridge, 1858. Maybe we don't know her month and day. 1858 to 15 March 1929, was a British diarist, letter writer, artist, and illustrator. A professional artist from an aristocratic background, she was known for her portraits of Queen Victoria and her family, and paintings of children and fairy subjects, generally in watercolor and pastel. Her book illustrations were admired by Oscar Wilde and Charles Dodgson. In 1966, her journals giving an insight into Victorian life, and in 2000, correspondence with her fiancé during the period of their engagement were published. So she had things published very recently. I mean, 1966 isn't that recent, but 2000 is, okay. I know it's 25 years ago, but in the scheme, that's recent in the scheme of things that we're looking at here. So her correspondence with her fiancé was published in 2000. And 1966, her journal. So we can read both of those. Now, I wonder if she was a diarist, and like those are diaries and letters. So I wonder if those are what account for the diarist and letter writer and her title, or if she also did that. Let's find out. During her life is what I'm trying to choke out. Okay. Laura Elizabeth Rachel Troubridge was born in 1858 in Chiswick, Middlesex, England, and baptized on 16 September 1858 in Turnham Green, Hounslow. She was sister to Thomas Herbert Cochrane Troubridge, 4th Baronet, and sister-in-law to Lady Laura Troubridge and Una Vincenzo, Lady Troubridge. Okay. I'm hoping for a rollover, and we're not getting one. So let's click in. Una Vincenzo, Lady Troubridge was one person. Okay. I wasn't sure. I had to check in on that. She was a woman. It was hard to tell with the name. I didn't know if Una Vincenzo was a lady or a guy's name. British sculptor and translator. Longtime lesbian partner of Marguerite Radcliffe Hall, author of The Well of Loneliness. Okay, interesting. Let's go back. So now we know something new already. Okay. In 1867, her parents, Louise and Sir Thomas Troubridge, died within a few weeks of each other, and as an orphan, she and her siblings went to live at North Runcton Hall. Whoa. I want to know more about this North Runcton Hall and like how she ended up there. In Norfolk with their grandfather, Daniel Gurney. Okay, she went to go live with her grandfather. Her grandfather's sisters, one of them, Elizabeth Fry, had kept journals, and it was these that inspired Troubridge to keep her own journals from 1873. Okay. So she was 14 years old when she started journaling. Troubridge was an aspiring young artist, and in 1879 she wrote in her journal, "To the National Gallery, met Tardy and went together to tea at Oscar Wilde's. Great fun, lots of vague, intense men, such differs, who amused us awfully." Cute. She lived with her grandfather until 1880. In 1966, her journals were published as Life Amongst the Troubridges, Journals of a Young Victorian, 1873 to 84. So I'm guessing those are available now. You could go and maybe get the audiobook at Audible or see if they have a read on Spotify. Maybe, I wonder if they have it on LibriVox. I should check. I'm going to make a note of that because I love LibriVox. LibriVox is free audiobooks, and they're read by people like you and me. They're volunteers, and they're just like free. So like you can just have at it. You just go there and you look up the name. Okay, look up LibriVox. And then we have, what is the name of it again? Life Amongst the Troubridges. Just making some notes for later. And back in the day, like we've been talking about talking about 1800s, people like to write about their life. They wrote about their travels. They wrote and then they would publish things. Like they would publish these periodicals, like family periodicals of what's going on. And that was sort of like the rags of the day, you know? So kind of fascinating. Actually, very fascinating. We didn't have TMZ. We had, so-and-so's family periodical, I guess. She and Adrian Charles Francis Hope were engaged in 1884. Okay, so if she was born in 1858, 26 years old, she was engaged. But the young couple were not able to marry because of Hope's difficulty in finding a job that would support them both. They kept up almost daily correspondence. I thought she was like a trust fund kid. Curious. And his name does not click through. So there's that, common guy. And she's kind of like this aristocratic background person. I thought maybe she came from some, actually both her parents are dead. So there's that. She was living with her grandfather until 22, maybe 1880. Yeah, she lived with her grandfather till she was 22. She was going to get engaged. She got engaged at 26, but she couldn't marry because of Hope's difficulty in finding a job that would support them both. Okay, I'm all caught up now. Sometimes when I'm reading, it's hard to fully embrace what I'm reading, and instead I'm trying to pronounce things. Okay. They kept up almost daily correspondence. In their letters, they wrote to each other about both public and private occasions in London and Norfolk and beyond. For example, after a dinner at Mary Molesworth, her fiancé writes to her, "Mrs. Molesworth urged me to throw everything to the winds and marry you at once." Their correspondence was published posthumously as the book Letters of Engagement, 1884 to 1888. The love letters of Adrian Hope and Laura Troubridge. That's a little heartbreaking because, they don't end up together. And I'm sure the letters are beautiful or dramatic or both or some combination of something. But, captivating enough to put them in a book and publish it in, was it Was it 1966 that they published it? No, it was in 2000, right? Correspondence with Her Fiancé was published in 2000. Okay, wow. I'm going to have to check that out. They were finally able to marry. Oh, wait a minute. Record scratch. They were finally able to marry in 1888. From this time, she was frequently referred to as Mrs. Adrian Hope. Yay! For the first years, they were living in the Bradgate House, Ratby. After St. Philip and St. James Church was restored, they donated a handsome brass eagle lectern and inserted 3 stained glass windows in the chancel at the cost of Mr. Adrian Hope. Hope secured a position as the secretary of Great Ormond Street Hospital, and in 1892 they purchased Moor House, 34 Tite Street, Chelsea, London, which the Hope Nicholson family continued to live in for a century. Tite Street was a hub of artistic and literary activity at the time. Residents included Oscar Wilde, James McNeill Whistler, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, and Edward Coley Burne-Jones. Troubridge and her husband eventually became the guardians of Oscar Wilde's 2 children with Constance Lloyd after his imprisonment for gross indecency in 1895. This is all so fascinating because I'm just making my chair work better. Because Oscar Wilde is our old buddy. He keeps coming up again and again. And, he's everywhere. Oscar Wilde is everywhere. I need a t-shirt that says Oscar Wilde is everywhere. Because the guy, he's just around. He's touches everybody's life and everybody's enchanted and charmed by this guy. Anyway, I mean, it didn't say that, but I'm just, I'm putting words in their mouth. That's okay. In a 1997 stage production at the Odyssey Theatre, written by Rhonda Spinak, Oscar Wilde's wife, Troubridge was played by Stacey Ruckgeiser. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. All right, I get it. There was a stage production called Oscar Wilde's Wife. That's a fun fact, right? Huh. Troubridge was played by Stacey Ruckgeiser. Okay. In 1898. Here, hold on. Okay. Let's get my head right. Okay, there we go. In 1898, she was witness during the trial of the death of Uzieli by Dr. Collins. What is this? Let's look at the footnote. The death of Mr. Uzieli, Mrs. Adrian Hope's evidence at the inquest, The Observer. She was witness during the trial of the death of Uzieli by Dr. Collins. Troubridge testified that Collins had once saved her life and that she was the innocent cause of Collins being accused of murder, as Troubridge had introduced Uzieli to him. Uzieli had fallen pregnant and didn't want any more children, so she turned to her friend Troubridge, who had known her intimately for almost 2 years. Troubridge, who had been a patient of Collins, suggested Uzieli consult him, as he was well known in her circle as an expert abortion care provider. Troubridge wrote a note to Collins requesting an appointment for Uzieli. Collins induced Uzieli's abortion, and fatal peritonitis followed. Peritonitis is an inflammation of the localized or generalized peritoneum, the lining of the inner wall of the abdomen and covering of the abdominal organs. Symptoms may include severe pain, swelling of the abdomen, fever, or weight loss. Okay. Collins was put on trial for Uzieli's murder, but the jury found him guilty of manslaughter. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna absorb this information. So she was okay. So she testified for her friend who was performing an abortion on her friend. Troubridge testified that Collins had once saved her life and that she was the innocent cause of Collins being accused of murder. Okay, yeah. That's it. Okay, to the doctor. Got it. Check. I understand. And I hope you do too now. So, Troubridge's husband died in 1904 after an operation for appendicitis. Oh my God, that's awful. So young too. They got together in 1884. Wait, they got engaged in 1884. They got married in 1888. And then he died 15 years later after an operation for appendicitis. They had 2 daughters. The following year, their younger daughter, Esme, at the age of 7, died of diphtheria. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. It's an infection caused by the bacterium Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Most infections are asymptomatic or have a mild clinical course, but in some outbreaks, the mortality rate approaches 10%. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. See the death. I mean, people just died of stuff. You know, there wasn't the same medical care as we have now. Oh, that's devastating. It was like a fact of life back then, which is like, I mean, it's a fact of life now, but more so. More intertwined, I think, in, you know, the day-to-day. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? Is that right? I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty entwined today too, but you know what I'm saying. It was more common for things that can be corrected now or cured or cleared up. So Troubridge and her oldest daughter, Jacqueline, were left in much reduced circumstances. So Troubridge left Morehouse, there's a typo here, wow, and relocated to Beaulieu, New Hampshire, where her brother and his family lived. In 1915, they moved back to Morehouse, where Troubridge lived for the remainder of her life. Wait a minute. So, her and her daughter, we don't know, the following year after the husband died of appendicitis, in 1905, Esme died of diphtheria. Then she moved to Morehouse, near her brother. And then 11 years later, they moved back to Morehouse, where Troubridge lived for the remainder of her life. Her daughter married Hedley Hope Nicholson in London in 1916. Any relation to... Let's find out. I'm curious, because this is something that they might not tell you. But there's the name Hope in there, and the husband's name was Hope. So let's find out if there was there daughter of Adrian, descended from the Earl. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Personal life. In 1916, Nicholson married Jacqueline Louise Rachel, daughter of Adrian Charles Francis Hope and Laura Troubridge, right? Laura Hope, descended from Earl of Hopetoun, subsequently changing his surname to Hope Nicholson by deed pool. I want to know what deed pool means, so I'm breadcrumbing all over the place today. A deed pool is a legal document binding on a single person or several persons acting jointly to express an intention or create an obligation. It is a deed and not a contract because it binds only one party. A deed pool, a legal document binding on this. That doesn't tell me why he changed his... He did it by deed pool, but it doesn't tell me... I mean, did he want the, cachet of having that a part of his name? He descended from the Earls of Hopetoun, so maybe that's it. And then they separated in 1937. So, Okay, so Jacqueline, let's find out what she ended up doing with her life. She was a genealogist, heraldic artist, and impassioned costumer, dealing with vast outdoor pageants and innumerable amateur theatricals, but her greatest interest was in the Stuart kings, primarily Charles II. They separated amicably in 1937. Okay, and then she had a bunch of kids. Okay, they had a bunch of kids, rather. Separated amicably. Okay. Great. I mean, that's good. I mean, again, people got divorced and separated all the time back then. And second families and this and that. And like, you never hear about this stuff, but it happened all the time. I mean, all that stuff. The good, like, what good old days? You know what I mean? Like, when people say, oh, the good old days. What? They had, like, I mean, I know racism is not figuring in here, but are you kidding me? Like, what good old days? What good old days? But this is all fascinating. I find them fascinating, old days. But they had a lot of things that you would not want today. Okay. Let's get back on track here. Okay. Her daughter married Hedley Hope Nicholson in London in 1916, and as we now know, he changed his name. He added Hope to his name. Her interests and talents were not limited to drawing and painting. She was actively involved in... Hold on a second. Okay, we're back to talking about Laura. Her interests and talents were not limited to drawing and painting. She was actively involved in amateur theatricals, as was her sister and daughter. In 1891, Troubridge and the Honourable Mrs. Sterling, I think H-O-N. is honourable, held a concert at the Royal Opera House, Leicester, with the aim of raising money for the Children's Hospital and Infirmary. Quote, the program was long and attractive and included, besides vocal and instrumental music, some clever recitations by the Misses Webling. End quote. She wrote plays such as The Enchanted Wood, poems, and manuscript music. She was on the executive committee and dress committee for the Chelsea Historical Pageant. Maybe that's where her daughter picked up costuming for pageants and stuff. In 1909, she and Lady Helen Forbes, or was inspired by, right? In 1909, she and Lady Helen Forbes organized a matinee at the Court Theatre in the aid of All Saints Mission, Pentonville. The theater program included 2 plays written by Troubridge, The Orange Tree and The Cunning of Pat. Let's look at the little... Okay, so if I go to the footnote, it says The Week in Society. That's a column, presumably. In The Observer, 13 January 1909. She died, age 71, in Chelsea on 15 March 1929. Sometime after her death, the houses on Tite Street were renumered and the address of the Moore House changed from number 34 to 52 Tite Street. So her number is different now. Career, here we go. Okay. Troubridge showed an early aptitude and passion for drawing and painting and became a well-regarded portrait painter and illustrator. Her success has been likened to be of a similar kind enjoyed by her friend Mary Louisa Molesworth, who I'm not familiar with her. Mary Louisa Molesworth was an English writer of children's stories who wrote for children under the name of Mrs. Molesworth. Her first novels for adult readers, Lover and Husband, 1869, To Sicily, 1874, appeared under the pseudonym of Ennis Graham. Her name occasionally appears in print as M.L.S. Molesworth. Okay. Good to know. Okay. Let's back up a bit. Hold on. Career. She was a professional artist from an aristocratic background. She had painted the children of the royal family, illustrated one of Mrs. Molesworth's books, and enjoyed a busy and fashionable married life. That was a quote by Mary Sebag Montefiore. Her works are attributed to or by her various names or a combination of those names, such as Laura Troubridge spelled with an OW instead of a OU, Laura Elizabeth Rachel Troubridge, Laura Hope, Laura Elizabeth Rachel Hope, Laura Troubridge Hope, Mrs. Adrian C. Hope, and Mrs. Adrian Hope. So she's had a lot of names. I mean, they often do. I think she has more than most, and I think that also makes it more difficult to find her actual work. I looked under Laura Troubridge with an OU, and under Laura Hope, her portraits were there. So, some of her mermaidy stuff that you're seeing in the slideshow is under Laura Troubridge, OU Troubridge, and then Laura Hope is the portraits. Artist. She was a watercolor and pastel artist who exhibited at the principal London galleries. She was known for her portraits of Queen Victoria and her family, and paintings of children and fairy subjects. On the reverse of two pastels by Troubridge, Margaret and Waterers, was the same newspaper cutting. And here's a little bit about that. The newspaper cutting on the verso states that she studied painting in London, being advised by John Millais. Let's see who he is. An English painter and illustrator who was one of the founders of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. He was a child prodigy who, aged 11, became the youngest student to enter the Royal Academy schools. Okay. Good to know. The newspaper cutting on the versus the art states that she studied painting in London, being advised by John Millais, and working in Mr. Cope's studio, and exhibited at the New Gallery, the Dudley Gallery, and other exhibitions. So she was very busy. Like she had her hands in it, you know. It also states that she was a member of the Pastel Society and painted between 700 and 800 portraits, including 2 of the Queen of Spain as a child, the daughters of the Duke and Duchess of Connaught at Osborne House in 1891. Osborne House is a former royal residence in East Coast, Isle of Wight, United Kingdom. For reference, for presentation to Queen Victoria, and 2 portraits of Queen Mary in 1903. So she did quite a bit for Queen Victoria, actually. I think every portrait I have in the slideshow there, you know, those little round ones, I think those were all for Queen Victoria. She just had her do like everybody in her family. You know, she had her over. She lived with her for like a couple weeks or something. Her and her daughter Jacqueline stayed there, and then she just painted portraits for her. You know, she was like, oh, I love this. Do everybody, you know, something like that. She was self-taught, and a command to paint 22 of Queen Victoria's grandchildren instantly made her artistic reputation. During the years 1893 to 1901, she exhibited at the Dudley Gallery and at the New Gallery, and was a member of the Society of Women Artists and the Royal Society Portrait Painters. At an exhibition and sale in aid of 3 charities for women held in 1896 at Reuben David Sisson's house, Troubridge contributed a pastel of delicate workmanship called L'Enfant Prodigue. Reporting, hopefully I didn't, hopefully I did that, so you know what I'm talking about. Protégé is, I think, the last word. Protégé, infant, child, protégé. Reporting on an exhibition held in 1903, The Guardian comments, in the Groves Gallery, Mrs. Adrian C. Hope has a number of works in pastel entitled Friends and Fancies. The friends are pretty children whose prettiness loses nothing in the hands of the artist. The fancies are mostly inspired by nursery rhymes, and they are touched with neat and whimsical charm that enlivens their somewhat arbitrary drawing. Her journals, 1873 to 1884, record her designing decorative tiles and Christmas cards from early on. A Christmas card is... That's not what I was looking for. I see, that's a thing. I couldn't find any of her Christmas cards. Like, maybe I didn't look hard enough. I don't know. In 1882, or look in the right places maybe, the Magazine of Art reports Christmas card publishers have produced some lovely specimens this year. Laura Troubridge uses a novel medium in her Japanese designs with gold and colors on gelatin. Her Children in Wonderlands is also quite good. In 1891, okay, just a little stop for a second, just an interjection. I love how they're like, let's look at these Christmas cards like they're little pieces of art, because they are. And I love that. But, you know, back then it was like they didn't have the internet and stuff. So they didn't have movies, you know, they had printed material and reading and art. So, you know, in the times they held a more, you know, a heavier place in entertainment value and culturally, you know, popular culture. Okay. In 1891, W.A. Mansell and Company announced that they were reinventing Christmas cards from being mere flimsy pasteboard with hackneyed quotations to objects of design, skilled execution, and literary style. The following year, the British Trade Journal writes of the success of the new idea and that the firm has spared no trouble and cost in procuring new designs by well-known artists. We noticed a number of charming sketches by Miss Laura Troubridge, printed in red and gold and in colors. Okay, illustrations. Illustrator. As an illustrator, Oscar Wilde. Okay, hold on. I gotta do some like I gotta get my mouth back because I think my tongue needs to like. Okay. Oscar Wilde admired the talented Troubridge sisters. Hold on. Okay. Did we not talk about, did we discuss a sister? I don't remember hearing about a sister. She was sister to Thomas Herbert Cochrane Troubridge and sister-in-law to Lady Laura Troubridge. So what are we talking about here? Okay. I'm going to keep reading. Maybe this will get cleared up. Oscar Wilde. Why can't I say Wilde? Oscar Wilde admired the talented Troubridge sisters, and in 1886, when Wilde wrote his second fairy story, The Selfish Giant, he sent it to Troubridge in the hope that she would provide the illustrations for it. Lewis Carroll was impressed with Troubridge's talents. He wrote to Emily Gertrude Thompson, "Do you possess Little Thumb illustrated by Miss Laura Troubridge? If not, let me give you a copy. The child figures are so lovely that I'm sure you would enjoy having it." Lewis Carroll, 1893. Troubridge's 10 full-page line drawings had a taste of the pre-Raphaelite. That's a movement. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, later known as the Pre-Raphaelites, was a group of English painters, poets, and art critics founded. We talked about this before too, so we've touched on it. But let's touch on it again, shall we? Was a group of English painters, poets, and art critics founded in 1848 by William Holman Hunt, John Everett Millais, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, William Michael Rossetti, James Collinson, Frederick George, and we're not going to read the rest of it, but it was like an art movement. So Troubridge's 10 full-page drawings had a taste of the pre-Raphaelite. The Athenaeum described them as having a good deal of pretty taste and draftsmanship. And the Art Journal said Little Thumb was elegantly illustrated. In 1894, Carroll wrote to his publisher, Macmillan, extolling the virtues of Troubridge. After mentioning Little Thumb, oh, that's beautiful. What was that? Isn't that pretty? Wow. What a gorgeous cover. After mentioning Little Thumb, he writes, another is The Little Mermaid in. That does not give so good an idea of her skill, as she has drawn the pictures twice over, and the published book is not the best set. So he's crapping all over this book that she did. But it's like a backhanded compliment, because he's also saying her this is better than this, which is fine, but it's not that great. The best set appeared in some magazine and English Illustrated magazine. In the same letter, Carol recommended Troubridge's unpublished pictures for the Queen of Hearts, but Macmillan didn't publish them. Okay. Around this time, Carol borrowed a portfolio of work from Troubridge and showed it to his friends. Carol wrote in his diary, Lily and Mabel Whittle, with their brother Chester, came to tea and saw the drawings, and Mr. Tom dined with me and saw her portfolio of drawings. Troubridge's illustrations in The Child Elves, A Fairy Tale Founded on Facts, and Alice in Wonderland. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this a little bit bigger here. A Fairy Tale Founded on Facts and on Alice in Wonderland, two completely different things, like really, were described by The Guardian as testifying to a graceful, dainty, and inventive fancy, although her drawing style betrays little firmness of power. Diarist and letter writer, Life Amongst the Troubridges, which we already touched on. Let's read it. 1873 to 1884, Troubridge started her journal at the age of 15. She had an eye for the absurd, which led to a splendid account of her life, and her journals give a marvelous insight into Victorian life. She wrote about family life with rich portrayals of her relatives, governesses, and tutors. Her journals recorded the beginnings of her career as an artist, and she illustrated them with her own drawings. She described picnics and excursions, staying in country houses, visits to London, and finally her engagement. Letters of engagement, 1884 to 1888. The correspondence between Troubridge and Hope during their engagement are full of terms of endearment, often including tokens of affection like pressed flowers, newspaper clippings, or drawings. But the couple were not always in agreement, and they had two significant disagreements. One, when Hope's first cousin is arrested for his actions in support of the unemployed during the Bloody Sunday riot in Trafalgar Square in 1887. The second, when Hope entrusted with some of Troubridge's illustrations to hand to a London publisher, leaves them in a taxi. They were never found. Troubridge collected their engagement letters and arranged them in order to form a continuous running dialogue. Cool. I wonder if she was thinking back then, I should publish these someday. I feel like there's all these holes in her story for me, or in her art, in her like body of work, and I can't bring myself to use the word oeuvre again. Okay, I just did. But in the body of work, I want to look up some Laura Troubridge books on Gutenberg, because I want to see. The problem with doing this is that they might not come up. It's just too complicated because she illustrated on it and she didn't write them. So and she went by so many names, it's hard to find the books, her books. Let's do this. Let's bring the slideshow to the front, and we're just going to cycle through. So I don't really know which one to draw. What I was really looking for, also I was looking for a portrait of her, and I couldn't find one. So it's like really strange, you know? She's like kind of enigmatic. I mean, there's a lot of information about her on the Wikipedia, but it's not like a complete picture. You know what I mean? These, I think, were pictures that she did, portraits that she did for Queen Victoria. And so yeah, nice portraits. They're going to cycle through. There's a little drawing I found of hers. Her work is like, it's hard to get a full picture of the work that she did because it's just not around. Here's what I did. I picked this one out for our cover, the cover of the Mermaiden for, I picked that one out for the drawing today, so I think we'll just stick with that. I was kind of hoping that I was going to find something, you know, that gave me like a more full picture of her work. And I just didn't really get that. I have not gotten that. So let me go set up my situation with drawing, and I will be back in realistically it's probably going to be like 10 minutes, but I'm going to try for like 4 because I'm really optimistic. So I will be back in a few minutes and we're going to draw. We're going to draw the Mermaiden cover in as a tribute. And we'll switch some stuff up. Maybe we'll add some color, maybe a little ink, like a colored ink. That might be nice. It's really calling out for some like aqua blues and stuff like that. Some nice soft colors. So let's see what we got. Yeah. All right. So I'll be right back. Back. Thanks for hanging with me. Let's do some artwork. We're going to do a tribute to Laura. And we're going to do, this is really beautiful, this cover of the book, The Mermaiden. Hans Christian Andersen book. I love the colors. Not sure what media I want to use. We have some Dr. Martin ink we could use. I could use some, excuse me, could use some gouache, some like watered down gouache. So it's kind of like, watered down gouache is kind of like some little bit of a watercolor vibe. It's not really like watercolor, but it's, they're both water soluble. Use that. So I'm just going to grab a few things and see what's calling me here. See if I can. Okay, this is a really great color, this Bombay green India ink. It's very beautiful. That's a really nice color. That would be nice for, you know, this really gives me that, you know, I'm getting that from this. And we have a little yellow here. See if we can open this one. These are like super, they're super old. And I can't open this one. So maybe we'll go for some gouache in that case. And then, yeah, I have a yellow that I can use for that. And I think I'm going to do a wash. I'm going to do a light wash and then, you know, it's not going to be a lot of intense color. It's just going to be some washes. And I do think this paper is okay for here. Let me show you. So I have done light washes on this paper. This is the pen and ink paper I've been using all month, pretty much. Pen and ink Canson. And then I did something I want to do today. I'll do something similar to where is it? This. Kind of similar to that, right? So similar vibe to this. So that'll work out well. That will work out well, I think. And I'm going to check and see if you guys can hear me. And then we're just going to go right in. My volume up here. Yep. You can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. I just heated up my coffee, so. I really like that coffee today. Good stuff. Oh, and then to do the line work, I mean, it's very soft, but we have some options here. I might use this one. It's a Tombow Fudnasuk, and I have two of these. They come in a set of two. One is a quote-unquote soft tip, and the other one is a hard tip, and they call them brush pens, but it's not. Obviously, this is not a brush pen. And this is the hard tip because it's my least favorite of the two, but it's the only one that has juice left in it because the other one, they don't last very long, I will say. They don't last very long. So let's do some nice wash. I have this, I don't even want to show you because I'm embarrassed by this, but I have this I have this ice cube tray that I did a video, so you've seen it. If you watch any of my videos, you may have seen it. I'll show it to you in 1 second. Let me just get this. I gotta pay attention to my yellow here before we have an accident. Before something happens that I cannot control. You kind of have to be on the game because I don't want my paper to get completely saturated, you know, and then like warp everywhere. I'm just laying down a little bit of yellow in the background, and then we're going to go in with that. I really like this color for, if I really want a shortcut, this is really nice because it's kind of a combo of that. It's like that aqua-ish looking green bluish situation. So we can do that. All right, I'm ready to be embarrassed. I'm ready to put it all on the table. This is my gouache this is the gouache that I reconstituted because my tubes were all broken. So I put them on here, put them in this ice cube tray. I mean, they look gross, I know. So I'm just, I'm just showing you because that's, what we do here. That's what we do. We just show. We're just showing. We're showing what's going on here. We're showing the ugly. So I'm just mixing a little bit to get a little bit of like a little bit of a more orangey, warmer yellowish look from this. So where is my spray bottle? That would be very handy right now. I mean, it's totally not like completely necessary, but it would be handy. I do like a spray bottle. I don't know if I'm going to find it though, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. All right, let's get some of this green going. All right, I got to put this. I'm gonna just put some down here for a minute. Just for a minute. Just for a second to grab it. Because we're gonna just do a little wet on wet here. And then get some of this color down here. And do a little mix. And see what we can do. Isn't that a pretty color? Are we getting there? Maybe I need to lower the light. I feel like my light might be too I feel like my light might be washing this out a little bit. Oh, okay. Or maybe I just need some more. Maybe I just need a little more ink. Am I gonna regret the amount of water I'm putting on this paper? Maybe. I might regret it. Oh, that's cool. The paper towel gave me like a texture just like gave me a texture that we have just like on the cover. That's hilarious. Totally not intentional, but that worked out. Cool. All right. Let's say maybe we should do that again. I don't want to disrupt what I already have, but let's try. Ooh, and now my brush is giving me some too. Cool. Okay. That works. I really do like this color as a shortcut to mixing my own. It's working out for me. It's giving me what I want. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, ink. Okay, let's see. Where are we going with this? Hey, maybe we should use some Neocolor. What do you think? It's soft. They're soft. I can don't wipe your nose with your paint paper, Kathy. Don't do that. Use a new paper towel if I have to wipe my nose. Okay, it's better. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll do that because I do want to inject a little more color in here. And I do have some Neocolors that will work nicely with that. Where is my neutrals? There they are. Okay, good. We got our neutrals here. That's, you know, it'd be great. Oh, there it is. There it is. That's what I want. I gotta dig in here. We gotta get this metallic, is it phthalo? Metallic phthalo green, which I always say all the time. And if you're here on the regular, you're gonna get sick of hearing me say it, but I'm gonna say it again. It's a really good neutral. It's a really good cool tone neutral. Very reflective and cool. And this gray, I probably won't be using that. And I have this nice Sahara yellow, which I'm going to put that down and take this one away because honestly, I'm not sure if this is a Neocolor 1 or 2, and I do not want to put a 1 on this paper. Oh, here's another one. Here's gold. Oh, that's a good one. The gold metallic Neocolor is, I consider them both like neutrals. I just think they're very neutrally. In fact, I think the kind of the whole set of all the neutral, I think the metallics are like neutral. The metallic Neocolors are like neutrals. So I like to use them like that. They're kind of like a step, they're like a step away, you know? They're like a neutral color, a neutral-ish color. And it's really nice to use them because they give you that, but they also give you color. So it's kind of nice. They're like, oh, nice. I gotta love it. I gotta love it. Yeah. Hey, look, my nails match my ink on my hands. Awesome. Okay. So now I just want to make sure I wipe up that because I don't care that I got it on me. I just don't want it to get on here. All right, let's start. Let's just start it, shall we? And can we see the whole thing? I'm going to pull you up a little bit. I'm going to pull this up a little bit. I'm going to tilt you a little bit. Let's tilt, shall we? Hey, this color that I wore today is like really in keeping, right? We are on theme. We are thematic today. We're blue. We're like watery, and I did not plan that. I mean, you know I didn't plan it. Because you know, sometimes I plan some. And I did plan some today. You know, I got the picture slideshow thing. I'm very proud of myself for putting that together. Like, hooray, awesome. But, you know, yes, we're just building. This is called Lego, kind of. Not Legos. This is kind of like Lego-ish. No? This is like DIY. This is like DIY and make things work so everybody can see them and so my art doesn't get warped. Wait, I'm not done yet. Don't worry. I'm going to push you down a little bit. Just to I want to make sure that you can see everything. Because I don't know, like, I'm still, we're still working on it. Still working on it. Let's bump it over. Let's bump you up a little bit. Okay. You know what's annoying? Like not like losing your edge. And I don't mean like losing your edge like I'm a tennis player losing your edge. I mean like losing the edge of my paper. That's annoying. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Let's see, where's our tail? Our tail's right here. We're just going in. We're just going in. And she has this weird crown thing on her tail. She has like a earring on her tail. Whoa. It actually looks like somebody photoshopped it on there or something, but no. I don't think that's what happened. I think it was intentional. Okay, she's too big. I made her too big. I made her too big. So how do we remedy this? This is how we remedy this. We're going to wash it away. We're going to wash it away because I can. It's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. We've only just begun. So let's do that. Okay, now, going in. So her head is like here, right? Arm, no, wait a minute. Arm here, then we have hair, wait, shoulder. Don't mind me talking to myself. Don't mind me talking to myself. All right, let's go to the blue. That little crown is cute. She has a little crown around the base of her tail. Very cute. Very cute. Sorry, the phone is in my face. I'm fixing it. There's a lot to think about sometimes, you know? A lot going on, a lot to think about, a lot of like moving parts. I just want to put on a good show for you guys and have some fun hangout time. And that's really where we're at. That's what we're doing. Better, I think. I think that's better. Hopefully the camera's out of my face now. Okay, that I think that is better. Yeah. Okay. Now we're doing the harp. We're on harp duty here. We got our little harp. Okay, before I do anything else, I'm going to put something behind my iPad so I don't have this reflecto going on. That's driving me bananas. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, that's a little better. Maybe it's a little too forward. How's that? Okay, that's maybe better. Just talking to myself. That's what we do here. I'm basically talking to myself, and then I talk to you when you're here hanging out with me. So you may not be able to see this on the screen right now, but this is a gold metallic Neocolor 2, and I'm just marking my territory with that, but you can't really see it, so I'm gonna actually switch to this one. This is like an ochre, and we're doing the harp, and where are we? We're gonna use the flesh tone, the light colored flesh tone. I'm just going to block in some arm and stuff here. Who's getting ready for Thanksgiving? Guess who's cooking for Thanksgiving this year? Me. What do I want to do? I want to look for my brush, which is right over here, water it down, and I'm just going to wash away some of this little brown. I did some markers with, did some little spatial markers for myself with this brown, like grayish kind of brown, like mixed gray brown Neocolor that I just wanted to get rid of because I didn't want it on there. So we have arm, we have shoulder, we have neck here, we have neck here, and then we have tilted head. So tilty head. I'm actually gonna wash away these little dots are driving me nuts. Okay, that's better. All right, so here's the neck. Here's our head is this way. And I'm going totally rogue here because I really do not, I should not be using a Neocolor 2 on this wet paper, because if I make a mark that I don't want to stay there, it's not going to come out. But you know, I'm kind of willing to take that chance right now. It's okay. It's okay. And you know what's funny? Her shoulders look very relaxed. Her shoulders look relaxed, which I think is worth noting. She's just like hanging out in her little sea home. And we have this really nice color, which is this, it's like this, it's like a, it's kind of a limey, not lime, it's kind of like a pastel greenish, like a pastel green color. Really pretty. Pretty pastel green color. Oh, whoops. Thank you for telling me. Thank you for telling me. I said I was responding to. I was responding to you. I said, I think she was sending me the siren song. She was saying, hey, over here. Hey, over here. Do me, do me, do me. All right. Really in the middle of it here. In the middle of it. Trying not to lose my thread, you know? My thread of confidence with this one, because it's coming and going, if you know what I'm saying. It's coming, it's going, it's coming, it's going. And I feel like I just need to really buckle down on this and try and get it to a spot where I feel like I'm in cruise mode, and I'm not in cruise mode yet. Do this. Let's get this going here. I do the side of the Neocolor trick. Works really well with the texture in the background, actually. I'm going to stand, actually. Going to stand for this. I think it's gonna. Oh my gosh, Megan, you chopped your hair off. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's awesome that you wanted to have short hair. I mean, what's awesome is that you are inspired to do it. I'm not saying. I'm actually growing my hair right now, which is kind of funny, but thank you. And I'm so excited for you. Short hair is so much more simple, and I love it. I just can't be bothered. Oh my God, you're going to inspire me to shave my hair off. You are going to inspire me. Now I'm going to be like, what is this? I'm actually past the point in my growing journey here that I'm tempted to cut it all off. I'm actually past that point, and I don't know how long this growing journey is going to last, but I'm going with it right now. But I love short hair. I've had short hair for most of my life, and I used to buzz cut my hair. A bunch of my videos, earlier videos, have that. I'd love to see your hair. How's your hair doing? Did you cut it yourself, or did you go somewhere to have it done? What'd you do? My head is turned because I'm reading my phone here. It's fun. It is so freeing. Yes. Yeah, the gray hair for me is like, oh, I want I want to have like, I was like, oh, finally my hair's like, you know, where I want to like enjoy it, you know? And it's like at a place where I'm like, oh, I'm not going to color my hair anymore. This is great. I'm just going to like, you know, I dyed my hair for so many years. And I just really, I hated it. I hated doing, I liked having dyed hair, but I didn't enjoy the process and I didn't like how it felt on my scalp. It was like awful. I would bleach it. You know, hair dye. Blonde buzz cut for a long time. A buzz cut, more like a wiffle. All right, we're gonna do the story of the mermaiden. I need to pin my page down because I'm getting this, and this stuff is like, it's gonna make me crazy. Let me get, what am I gonna use? Am I gonna get a clip? I will be right back. I'm gonna grab a clip. Okay, we're back. We are back. Oh, look. I got a clip that matches kind of, right? And that's a little bit better, I think. There we go. It's like a very cute, feminine, and edgy fit, pixie. I went somewhere and had it. Okay, I'm reading Megan's. Hold on. I'll sit down for this. Give this the respect, the reading it deserves. Okay. Megan says, I went somewhere and had it cut. They get me to dye my grays, but I'm so looking forward to it going natural. I have some cool gray streaks at the front. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm glad you like them. I couldn't. I had a hard time with my. It just did not look good to me at all. Oh, I couldn't stand it. And then I was like, yeah. We're there. But it turned out so cute. It's like a very cute, feminine, and edgy pixie. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my God. That's awesome. Does it have like little pieces in the front? Do you have a little bit longer here? Like, do you have stuff to play with? Is it short down here? Is it like softer around? Is it like really short in the back? Details. Details. Okay. Do I want to grab a colored pencil? If I grab a colored pencil, I can't wash it away. So that's right now kind of like something, right? Because I kind of am enjoying the ability, and I got to put the lettering in. We got to put the lettering in. Okay. I feel like her tail needs to be bigger, but I think I'm just not. I think I feel that way because I want to make it bigger, not because it is bigger. You know what I mean? I think it's actually the size that it should be. If anything's too small, it's her harp. But I think in terms of the picture, in terms of being faithful to the, like, compositionally, like size-wise, I think if I'm looking correctly, I do think that it's is right, or close to right. I am going to use a teeny tiny bit of water to just sort of do a little bit. Gotta be careful with this though. It's like you're like one step away from mud, so you just gotta be careful. Just gonna do a little bit of that. I'm trying to, it just occurred to me right today and yesterday that I feel like I could be getting into some bad habits with when I'm doing the art, and I really want to avoid that. And if I elaborate on what I mean is maybe getting too caught up in details and stuff. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I don't know. I could just be like at the place with my art where I just I'm not flying yet. You know what I mean? It could just be that, but it did occur to me that I could be I have to be careful to not get into bad habits. I'm going to read your note in a second, Megan. Megan said, "I'm ready for my crone era." Yes, I love that. Yes, a little side fringy bits across the front to soften, short and stacked in the back. She used a razor to cut it, and I love the sound of it. Awesome. That's good. Did the razor, was it comfortable? I think it's easier when somebody's doing it for you. I have one of those razors that I bought to cut my own hair. And when I use it, the kind with a handle, and when I use it, it's like really hurts because I'm like pulling my hair. And so then what I did, I used just like a straight razor instead. And that doesn't hurt. But you have to, it's a weird thing cutting your own hair. You know what I mean? Because it's like backwards kind of. I have a hard time with it. I never cut my own hair until, was it this year? Yes, it was this year. I never cut my own. Oh, no, that's not true. I cut my own hair for years with the buzzer. But in terms of like a styled cut, I did not do that until, let me do that. Let's just see, you can see me better. This is not good right now. My bangs are a mess, but I had a really good fringy one that I did. My first haircut I ever gave myself was in January of this year. Anyway, that was a fun one, and I'm not saying like go cut your own hair, but you might get comfortable with doing that. And when you have short hair, it's gonna grow back. You know what I mean? Like that's what I've always been like. It's gonna grow back. It's gonna grow back. So who cares? I mean, it's like, okay, if it's short and you get a bad haircut, you're just like, so I have to deal with a bad haircut for like 4 weeks or whatever, or 6 weeks, and then you're fine. Let's see what Megan says. I'm ready for my crone era. Yes, it's a little side fringy bits across the front to soften, short and stacked in the back. She used a razor to cut it, and I love the sound of it. It is really cool, isn't it? Like, you're like, oh, I'm getting my money's worth. I love that. That's how I always feel. I'm like, yes, please break out the razor. When I used to get it cut, like short hair style, I'm just like, please, razor. The sound of hair being cut with razor gives me tingles. LOL, maybe ASMR. Yeah, ASMR for sure. It was super easy when she did it. I can't imagine how complicated doing it myself would be. Yeah. Well, it took, I mean, I'm a lot more comfortable with it now, but I'm still not like super comfortable, and I'm much better than I was though. I learned that's really great. I should be proud of myself because I wouldn't touch my hair myself besides buzzing it off forever for my whole life. And then And then this year I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cut my own hair because I can't bring myself to go to the hairdresser to style it. I just don't want to do it because I don't want to get into that cycle again. I used to go in. I've had like, I mean, I did a combination. Like I've been through years where I would just buzz my hair and then I would like grow it out and then have like short haircut. And when you have super short haircut, like pixie haircut, you're there. Like you're at the hairdresser a lot, you know? And I spent a lot of time at the hairdresser. And I just wanted to learn to do it myself, you know? DIY. I mean, not all the time, because I'm not suggesting everybody do that. Because I know it's not, it's not always, I think I had to be brave. It wasn't like, it took me a long time to build up. I was trying to get my sisters to cut my hair. One of my sisters, but nobody was biting. Nobody was like jumping in and doing that for me. So I have all the kind of things. Like I have the scissors with the little cutouts in them, and I have the hair scissors anyway. You know, just from buzzing my hair and then just kneading that stuff. And then, I mean, I've just collected this stuff over time. And I got the hair razor thing because I thought, oh, maybe someday I'll use this. And then somebody I follow on Instagram was cutting her own hair. And I loved her haircut. And it was actually a haircut that a very similar haircut to one that I used to have a lot. Back in the day, like probably 20 years ago. And I was like, I have one of those, because I was reading in the comments, somebody's like, how do you cut your hair yourself? And she's like, I have a razor. And I'm like, I have one of those. I'm going to do it. Because I was like at that weird in between with my hair. And I did it. And that was like, my first haircut was like awesome. It was so good. I mean, the first haircut that I gave myself, it's on my Instagram. It's like January 15th or something. And I'm holding my sister's dog, my nephew dog, Norman. And I really love that haircut. And I wish I could. This is the thing about doing your own hair. Or learning how to do your own hair. Because I'm just still learning. Obviously. Look at my bangs. I'm still learning. Obviously. I'm still learning. But I gave myself a really good haircut. I loved it. I did this wrong here. I'm going to fix this. Not wrong. Just not in a way that I want. I have to have enough room here to write the Mermaidian. And I do not have enough room to do that right now. I think I wrote of too low. And I'm cool with that, but I just have to make sure that I have enough room for the Mermaidian. So in order to do that, I'm going to do a little trick that I like to do sometimes. And I'm going to do the last letter first here. And then we're going to do like this. C, D. Let me read what Megan wrote. Megan wrote, people keep saying your hair is your crown, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no thank you. Chop it off. LOL, can't be bothered. Yep. I love that. I love that. I got to the point where it was putting it up in a messy bun regularly. It's so weird because when you have short hair and you haven't had long hair in a long time, you kind of crave putting it up in, ponytails or whatever. Like that's sort of your thing. But I think we all just need something to strive for in some ways, like, because then when you're there, when you have hair, And all you're doing is putting it up. You're like, what? Like, is this like, why am I doing this? You know, why? Why am I doing this? It's just not doing anything. You know, that's what I imagine anyway. That I will get to the point where it's long enough and I'll be like, why? And why did I do this again? Because I needed something to strive for? Like, did I need like a goal? Did I just need a hair goal? You know? Like, why was this important to me? I love short hair. I totally agree with you. I'm like, it grows. It's gonna grow. So who cares? You know, like, it's just gonna grow again. It's fine. But I think I just haven't had hair in so long that I'm like, let me enjoy what it's like to have hair that's longer than, you know, that's longer than that. You know what I mean? Now you're tempting me. Maybe I'll jump on the train. I have to say that haircut that I gave myself in January is like, I loved it. That was like, I was so proud of myself. It was like, how did I do this? But that's cool because it's just the coolest haircut I've had in a long time, and I did it myself. And then the one I did after that did not work out well. It was not good. I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't as good as the first one. I think it's because I watch so much. I watch so many like hairdressers on. I follow them. I follow a lot of hairdressers on Liza's Locks. I love her. And she inspires me. She actually inspired me to cut, watching her and the other person I'm talking about, which I can't remember her name right now, but I was inspired by her too. Stasia. She's the style girl. The style lady. The DIY style lady. I love her. She has the cutest hair and she cuts it herself. Okay, so the title in this is a little bit different than it is in the. It's a little different. And I actually thought I was going to break out. Well, at least I fit the whole thing in. That's great. I thought I was going to do a pen, but maybe we'll just stick with the Neocolor because it's very soft, and this is a very soft like piece. So maybe we just stick with the Neocolor, you know? This has some like draggy bits on it, on the of. These metallic Neocolors, which I know I talk about them, like how I like them. I do, but they have this weird crumbly. They have this weird crumbly aspect to them. They crumble. They crumble. It's very strange how they crumble. Okay, this has some draggy bits too. Okay, wait a minute. Let's use one of these, and we're going to do the seaweed that's behind here. And yeah, it's not like exactly where it's supposed to be in the picture, but that's okay. We're going with it. We're just going with it. I might still go in with ink a little bit at the end, I'm thinking. So I'm going to leave. We've adapted from the German of Hans Andersen by E. Ash, illustrated by Laura Troubridge, which let's see. I don't think I'm going to get that written out in Neocolor. That's not happening. It's way too many letters for this. No edge. I got no edge on my Neocolor. So can't do that. I mean, I can do it here, but I need to I need those letters are just too small. So I'm gonna skip that in the Neocolor. Maybe I'll do it. How do I want to get that in? Okay, let me consider. Let me consider the ways, the possible ways to do it that are gonna stay within the universe of what's going on here. You know, it would be really nice to have like, you know, it would be cool. A pen, like a liner with a brown ink, or let me see what do I have something handy? Maybe, oh my gosh, what do I have? I'm wondering if I have a paint pen. that I can use for this. I don't know. I have to look. What do I have here? I need like a fine liner. I need like a fine what do we got? What do we got? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Found it. Found it. All right. We have some. I'm going to use this. This is a brown. I have a brown Posca. Excellent. Okay. A brown Posca fine tip. Great. I have a gold one too. No, that's not fine tip. What else do I have here? See, this is a little dangerous because I love paint pens. Because I love paint pens, but they can be a little tricky to use with. I think this is going to be okay. I typically don't always love using, let's get a piece of paper to scribble on. I don't typically love using like paint pen with. So this could be our line. It's a little bit on the red side, but I actually think it's okay. It's not bad. It actually matches. I think it's going to be good for the. I think it's going to be good for the. It's going to be good for the. I can't get the words out. It's going to be good for the small letters, the small words. This is going to be good for the small words because it's actually going to turn out to look. It's going to actually turn out to look like them. I think. I'm just going to go in. I'm just going in, and that's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I think. The one thing is I'm gonna have to have my reference really close to me because I don't want to be putting on and taking off my glasses, which is gonna drive me nuts. I think maybe we'll use this too, a Tombow. Maybe to pump up the title a little bit. Adapted. Let's go. Adapted. I'm just going in. Going in. I'm going to zoom you in now too because we're doing some more detailed stuff. And I'm trying to stay over my artwork because I don't want to have issues with, you know, I'm warping. I don't want to warp anything. I'm just trying to emulate the text style, the lettering style. That's what I'm going for here. So let me zoom in like that. That better. And I'm writing it real small because I need to fit everything. It's the way it's spaced out. I'm trying to stay hello. I'm trying to stay as straight as possible too. So I have to really just like keep my head over it. So if all you're seeing is my hair right now, I apologize. Adapted from the German Uh-oh. I made a mistake. I don't have enough room to write German here, so I'm going to write German on another line. Sorry. Sorry, Troubridge. From the German. Let's start German here. This is like deceptively difficult. I don't know if this looks I don't know if this looks as challenging as I'm actually finding it to be. And I'm not talking about just the art part. I'm just talking about like all the incidental stuff. You know what I mean? Like putting my head over so I make sure that putting my head over the artwork so I don't warp things. You know what I'm saying? From the German of Hans Andersen. I'm going to start of over here because it just has to be done. We have a lot left to write here of, but I am really enjoying like emulating this lettering because it's very beautiful and it's fun to do. And I like the imperfections because of AI and everything. And also just because we have Photoshop and we have Adobe and we have, you know, graphics programs to fix things. But really, are we fixing? Is the question. Is it really fixing? Or it's just doing something a different way? I'm curious what their process was for like reproduction back in the day. You know, like how did they? Okay, that's a little off. That's okay. By E. This color turned out to be really right on. This brown is very much what we needed here. And it's working fine over the Neocolor and over the ink too on this paper. No issues. All right, now we're going to write illustrated by Laura Troubridge. So I'm just going to move you over a little bit. Actually, let me do this. Let's do that, and then, oops, I'm going to tilt you like that. So now, started here. Okay, so the T's have to be higher than the end of the D, the top of the D. So we can do our line here. Oh, oops. There we go. Illustrated by, and now we're going to write Laura Troubridge. Okay. 1 second. Move down a little bit. There we go. Okay, I think this is actually not helping me at this point. Okay, L, A, U. I'm going to start it over here because I'm getting concerned about space. Like the letters are getting larger and I don't know, my focus is different. I'm not standing. I'm just doing what I'm doing. I'm going to do the best I can here. Just doing the best I can. R. And then this goes like that, and then our A comes like swoopy, swoop. What's that? I'm going to plug my phone in so it doesn't die on me and you. Do that. Okay, make sure we're good. And keep moving. We're getting there. Troubridge. Well, okay, so I'm glad that I picked this cover. It's definitely, it was a lot. I think if I had had a picture of her, like a portrait of her, I honestly think I would have done a portrait of her. And if I had a quote of hers, I think I would have done like a portrait and a quote instead of doing a piece emulating her piece. Tomorrow, that's where I'm headed. I'm gonna do an artist that I'm gonna do his portrait, and I'm gonna do a quote of his, something he said. Because I think, all things considered, it's gonna work out better. I think that I want to kind of want to rethink, like reconceptualize my homage artworks that I'm doing. Because I think in some ways I really love doing work that emulates their work. And honestly, it's not something that I would do just on my own, which also is good, because it's like an exercise that I probably wouldn't just undertake on my own. On the other hand, I don't know if it's hitting all the marks for me, you know? I don't know if it's hitting the marks for me on, like, overall, you know? Like, for instance, sometimes, yeah. But, like, yesterday it was not, you know? So, and I'm not saying, like, one bad day is gonna, like, change everything. It's not, but, oh, sorry. Are we back? Yes, we are. Okay, good. But hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta rejigger here. Okay, there we go. But you know, I constantly have to, like, rethink to try and improve and see what I can do to make things work out better. So, yep, I'm constantly trying to consider things like that. And I'm thinking about what I'm gonna do for December. We're just using this pen. I know that in the artwork is not this brown color, but I'm just going in here with this. I don't even know if I like it. Hold on. Let me be right back. Oh, right. We have this. Okay, let's give this a shot. Let's give this a shot. Let's give this a shot. For our lettering. I don't know if it's going to work the way that I want it to. Okay, that's not bad. I did already start with this one, so I just have to do some touch up here. Let's do that. My Neocolors keep dropping. Okay, this is okay for the letters, for the title. That's fine. I'm not gonna, as of right now, I'm not gonna bring this into the rest of it though. I don't really think it needs it. If I'm looking at the big picture, don't think I want to do that. Okay, I just totally lied, I guess, because here I am using it, and I just want to define her hands and some other parts here. So let's do that, shall we? Let's just go in and do it. I'm going to use the brush. Okay, this is working out for me. That's my stomach. That is literally my stomach. Okay, I think this pen really came to my rescue, actually. I really do. This pen is giving me what I need right now. I just needed more value, you know? A little more value, a little more dirt. A little more definition, little definition. I love the soft glow. Don't get me wrong, but to me, for this, it's making me feel like it's unfinished a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. It's feeling a little oh. Sorry guys. There we go. Better. Let's do this. And ooh, I think I dropped my other one. I think I dropped it. We didn't get the crown in here, so let's get the crown on our tail, which I think is so weird, but we're doing it because it's here. It's in the art. And I'm gonna actually do a little bit with the brown. I'm gonna do a little bit with the brown. Not Neocolor, sorry. I'm so confused. It's not a Neocolor. This is not a Neocolor. This is a Posca. I'm doing a little with my brown Posca here. And you know what would be great is this is a Neocolor. This is that metallic Neocolor, which I really like to add color to this. But okay, this is definitely working out for me. Now, this would actually be a really good one to bring in a marker that is dried out, so you can get some like marker dirt in there. This would be a good one for that. But I don't know if I'm going to do that today, because maybe I can do some marker dirt without doing that, like this. Okay. I think we're almost there. Almost. Okay, we're good. I think we're good. I think, oh, I didn't do the very bottom. I'm going to do it right now. Griffith, Ferran and Company. Let's do the bottom. Let's do the bottom. I'll bring you in. I'm going to bring you in real close. And we're going to do the bottom. Griffith. Oops. Griffith. F. A. R. Oh my God. This is looking rough. And C-O. Okay. All right. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost done. And then it says London, and I can't read whatever it says at the bottom. I can't read that, but I'm just going to write L-O-N. Oh, sorry. Hold on. There we go. L-O-N D-O-N and then some stuff I can't read. Some stuff I can't read, but I'm just going to put on the bottom. And there's an S in here somewhere. There we go. All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. This is good. All right, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I am happy with it. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of this little picture. And I have a desk to clean now. All right, let's just do that. All right, so yes, my other clip fell. But thanks for coming today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed learning about Laura Troubridge, who goes by the Woman of Many Names, who did artwork for Queen Victoria. She did a ton of portraits for her. She did artwork for Oscar Wilde and Hans Christian Andersen. And this is one of her book covers. Isn't it sweet? This was for Hans Christian Andersen. And this is an homage. An homage. How's that? To her and her mermaiden, the story of the mermaiden. So here we are. And thank you so much for coming. And tomorrow we're doing an artist extraordinaire. Tomorrow we are doing, let's see, Henry. Tomorrow we're doing Henry. Hold on a second. I'm going to tell you his name. Henry Isawa Tanner. We're doing Henry Isawa Tanner. And I already know what I'm drawing for Henry. We're going to do his bio read. We're going to do the Wikipedia bio read. We're going to... I have a ton of links in the description already for you to take a look at if you want to familiarize yourself with his life and his work. And I'm going to do a portrait of him tomorrow and a quote. And I'm really looking forward to that. Very distinguished gentleman and somebody who had a wild life full of, not wild, but a life full of some struggles, some big struggles, intensely amazing talent, and making it work. Like, this guy just had a great attitude, and he had a wonderful work ethic, and I think he really had a sense of why he was here on this earth and what he was here to do. And I love that he was able to do it despite everything that was against him to do it. So come back tomorrow and we're gonna learn about Henry and look at some of his work and do a portrait of him and do one of his quotes. All right, so have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.